So here we are. I'm Brian Scott. It's Brian's Game Night. Please subscribe, click the bell. I would like to have some viewers. Um, Yesterday, I watched a video by the RPG Pundit. It was about anti-Semites in Gen Con. They're going to come in and show up at Gen Con. I thought, well, that's interesting. So I listened to it, and it was a very interesting video. I'll tell you the elevator pitch. There's Gen Con, which is the utmost popular convention for tabletop role playing games in the world. In fact, it's coming around the corner in about 30 days or something of that nature. Then there is something called the Crit Awards. It's a little group of people that got together and made these awards for role playing games. They're going to be at Gen Con. I assume, are they? I don't know what they'll be doing there, but they're going to be there. Maybe they have a table. Who knows? Fine. Though I think I could argue one way or another if they're just going to have a little table and they're not doing anything, they're not really controlling a part of Gen Con or whatever, maybe, but I don't know. But the way it sounded like this, that they were going to have a they were going to have more of a involvement in Gen Con than just having a little table. I could be wrong. And then there's a third person in this unholy trinity. I'm going to butcher it. I'm going to call it strikingly. As as far as I can determine, this is sort of like a host site online to host your web page. All right. So so basically the story is the Crit Awards. If you go to their website, they have a website. Everything looks peachy corn. I mean, it definitely looks SJW. It's very much we don't tolerate anything, fine. As a gay man myself, fine. That's great. You know, don't be, you know, homophobic. But somewhere in the rule set, they have a little guideline. If you want to be considered, if you want your um, tabletop role playing game to be considered for their awards, you cannot be a Zionist. Now, oh, and I want to preface this. I am sorry to make a political video. I don't like having political videos on my role playing game stuff. I know I kind of interlace it a little bit, but I'd like to not have to come on here and do a video like this. I want to preference that. Sorry. So anyway, you can't be a Zionist. Now, for those of you who don't really give a shit about religion or whatever, a Zionist is someone that believes that the Jews should have a state of their own. And we can talk about the whole history of that, but that's basically what it is. You're either allowed to exist or you're not. So when you see people who are anti Zionists, they are anti Semites. So I thought, well, let's talk to Strikingly or whatever they're called. Because here's the thing. If they were just expressing views, like they were on Twitter and they weren't part of a terrorist group, have at it. Just, you know, make as many posts as you want. Now, though, they are a group who um, is going to give out awards at Gen Con. At least that's the way I'm trying to understand. Think it's the way it's going down. Now, Strikingly is a business, but I think it's a little step up from just a Twitter account, right? Twitter is just me being able to mouth off, you know, I hate those fags, whatever. But this is a group that is doing something and is getting involved in things and is and I can see where so my point is, strikingly, because I emailed them. I got a hold of them on their Facebook, and the guy goes, "Well, I don't know. I'll have to find out. This is seems like well, it is an anti-Semitic group. They don't allow Zionists, and they're you know." And I like, why would you pick out, single out just one little group? Why not say, hey, we don't do Nazis and we don't do whatever. No, it's Zionists. And they said, well, yeah, they didn't really, they're not doing, they're not, there's nothing they've done that's against our policies. And I said, well, so do you allow Nazi groups? No, it's the same fucking thing. It's the same fucking thing. So, um, I want to point that out, though. I want to point out to the gaming community of all 15 people that subscribe to this. I want to point out to you that a now I don't think Gen Con even knows. I'll be honest. Gen Con is a engine of itself. So I think we need to make Gen Con aware, just as I have already done. Make Gen Con aware by numbers that, hey, you're letting these people who are openly anti Zionists, who will not let Jews apply for this award. Or if they know there are Jews and that made a product, they will not be considered for an award. That's what you've allowed in Gen Con. So Gen Con needs to be aware of, and they need to know that you won't allow it. Okay. Um, Same thing with who else was I? Oh, the crit awards. They're just first off, they're only like 4 people. Go through the website. It's just awful. I just anyway. So it don't matter. They're going to be who they going to be, right? Haters going to hate. But then you need to go to strikingly and say, hey, wait a minute, this isn't right. You're allowing these anti-Zionists to who purport to be so when you look at it's not just the gays they love everybody. It's just everybody. You can't do any except the Jews. And we need to do this because I'll tell you why. When you don't stand for one group, they all fall. And we have seen this happen over and over again in history. Um, and the fact that and I know for a fact a large number of gay and lesbian organizations and groups are anti Semitic. They're filled with them from these Palestinian people. Um, Propaganda. And again, I hate being the guy who has to talk politics in something that I like, but it is affecting what I like right now. This is right now. It looks like a minor hiccup, but it's going to become something really big. You know, today they're allowing a group that doesn't allow Jews to submit works to be considered for their awards. What do you think is going to happen in a year or two at Gen Con itself? Don't think it's going to happen. That's what they said back in the 40s. Oh, it's not going to happen here. And oddly enough, a lot of what's happening now actually did happen in the 40s. The brown shirts went to universities and shout down lectures. So it is history repeating itself when you know the history. And because you don't know the history, you need to learn the history because it's happening again, it's happening now. This is wrong. It is wrong and it needs to be rectified. And the only way in this country that you can do that is say, no, your group is not going to have my support at all if you are involved in this, which they are. Now, again, I don't think Gen Con even knows who they are, honestly, right? Gen Con, Gen Con is so oversold. They don't have any hotels for anybody, and they're still selling tickets. So They don't know who you are. But I assure you, make enough noise and Gen Con has to listen. This cannot go away because today it's just a little group that's in Gen Con. Then they're going to influence Gen Con. You know, um, oh, Zionists? No Zionists at Gen Con? Yeah, it's around the corner. Um, and for you who thinks this is something that's going to blow away, it is not. It is not going to blow away. It's going to get worse. So right now, today, we have a chance to stop this where it starts. I've already done. I've contacted Gen Con. I didn't contact the Crit Awards people because they are who they are. They're not going to change. But I did also contacted Strikingly, and Strikingly doesn't think it to be that's a problem. But I assure you, when 40 or 50 or 100 people says it's a problem, it's going to be a problem, and especially if you make it